Yes, how will you introduce the case? What is the case about? Social discrimination. So this case is about undesirable social attitude of people towards certain sections of the society. Intolerance is not the right word here. Discrimination is what? Undesirable social attitude. We have different kinds of attitude: social, economic, political. It's an example, or it's a case about undesirable social attitude towards certain section of the population, towards certain sections of the society. Yeah, towards underprivileged sections of the society, marginalized sections of the society. Okay. Conflict क्या है यहाँ पर? Which are the values in conflict here? Equity versus discrimination. Okay. Discrimination. And social justice versus developmental outcomes. Why developmental outcomes? Because it's written in the case that this could result in the possibility of discontinuation of midday meal scheme, thereafter of teaching staff and subsequent closing down the school. Okay? If you try to force people to send their children, it might lead to closing down of school. So, whether to uphold social justice or be more concerned about developmental outcomes. Okay? Now, what is the question here? Discuss some feasible strategies to overcome the conflict and what should be the responsibilities of different social segments. Okay? These are the two questions. Okay? Now, feasible strategies to deal with the conflict. यहाँ पर you don't have to generate different options. You have to straight away write the correct course of action. And in the process, when you are writing the correct course of action, you should write what is the responsibility of different segments of the society. So who are the different segments of the society? Basically, who are the stakeholders here? Who are involved? Sarpanch. I am the Sarpanch. Okay, Sarpanch. Then education institutions. Then society, community. Okay. Which other segments are there who need to contribute to solve this problem? District administration, okay, police, civil society, local civil society, and local NGOs, local media.
They are also become stakeholders.
They will become stakeholders here because they have to contribute in solving this problem. Okay. Okay. See, now on any social issue, basically the solution has to be attitudinal change, behavioral change. Okay. So, यहाँ पर basically you have to write different strategies to bring about attitudinal change, behavioral change in people. Attitudinal change through persuasion, attitudinal change through social influence, attitudinal change through coercion. Coercion would be the least preferred. Only as the last resort. The most preferred is attitudinal change through persuasion. है ना? What are the three sub techniques under attitudinal change through persuasion? Behavioral. ठीक है? तो cognitive route में first of all you will try to use logic and rationality. है ना? You will try to make them aware that what they are doing is not right. It's not only unethical, it is unconstitutional also. It is illegal also. है ना? Effective route में you will try to evoke certain emotions such as guilt or fear of law, etc. Behavioral route में what you will do? What do we do in behavioral route? You haven't read, you haven't revised. How will you do the test? Behavioral route में basically we give incentives and disincentives, positive and negative reinforcements. है ना? तो you you might give certain incentives to those parents, to those families who send their children to school. Okay, but that is the behavioral rule. Okay. Also, what you can do, okay, that will be part of our. So all these are parts of basically persuasion, cognitive affective behavioral. Next is using social influence. What are the three techniques of social influence? Conformity, compliance, obedience. So conformity में क्या होता है? What happens in conformity? You try to basically use group pressure, societal norms, or group pressure to make people change their attitude. Okay. So what you will do is that you will target the progressive parents within the higher caste community, and you will target those families, progressive families. Once those families start sending their children to school, then other families would also be pressurized to do the same thing. They would also be pressurized to follow the norm or the conform to the norm. Okay. Another way by which you can use conformity is creating an example. So what you can do, you are the sarpanch, you organize a function where you, along with other important dignitaries of that area, the district magistrate, the SP of the district, some local MLA, okay, all the eminent people would come and they would eat the food which is being prepared by the Dalit cook. It is more of a symbolic gesture to the people. Okay, that if we can eat, you can also eat. Are you understanding? So this is again, you will try to create group pressure. Are you understanding? In fact, this is a real life case study. This has happened in recent times. It has happened in Karnataka, it has happened in Bihar. In midday meal schemes, whenever a Dalit cook has been sort of recruited, many people have stopped sending their children. In fact, in Bihar, to deal with this problem, the district magistrates there went in the school and they ate the food cooked by Dalit cook. Okay. So you can give such examples. This has actually happened in Bihar. Compliance, how will you do? Compliance, which are the two sub-techniques? Two sub-techniques under compliance. Foot in the door and door in the face. So here you will use foot in the door technique. And you will start with making small requests to the people. You send your children to school just for 1 week, just for 10 days. Are you understanding? So start with making small requests, gradually increase the intensity and scope of your requests as the sarpanch. Okay. And finally, when persuasion as well as social influence does not work, then coercion. Obedience is very similar to coercion. And obedience and coercion are overlapping. Then basically, legal action will have to be taken against those who are practicing. See, it's a form of untouchability that they are practicing. It's a violation of SCSA Act. It's a violation of civil rights, protection of civil rights act. Okay. So then, after persuasion and social influence also, if people are not understanding, then legal action will have to be taken by the district administration and police. Okay. As far as the role of different stakeholders is concerned, in this entire process of attitudinal and behavioral change, all of us have to contribute. All the stakeholders have to contribute. Local media has to start an IEC campaign. Local civil society has to basically start awareness campaigns. And local NGOs. I told you, district administration, local district police, etc. They can eat the food prepared by Dalit cook to create an example for others. So this is how all these stakeholders can contribute in bringing about attitudinal and behavioral change. Is it clear? See, again, in this case, you have to use your theoretical knowledge of persuasion, social influence, etc. That's why I told that case study is nothing but application of theory. Once you are clear, thorough with your theory, you just have to apply it. Okay. Next. Here, the long-term solution and feasible strategy, they are coinciding. The short-term solution would be coercion or obedience and taking legal action. But in the medium to long run, persuasion, social influence, attitudinal and behavioral change. the case? What is the case about? Natural calamities. So basically this case is about prioritization and optimal utilization of available resources in a crisis situation. You don't have to specify it's a natural disaster or what kind of crisis it is. It's a question of just prioritization and optimal utilization of available resources in a crisis situation. You are facing a crisis, resources are limited, you have to prioritize how to use the resources. Okay? What are the ethical values here? What are the decision premises basically? On what factors you will base your decision? Who to save first, who to save later? What are the ethical values involved here?
First,
Impartiality,
compassion,
compassion, equity, empathy.
care,
Care. Preferential treatment or positive discrimination in favor of vulnerable sections. है ना? Positive discrimination or preferential treatment for vulnerable sections. Impartiality. So here the decision premise, the main factor or the main criterion on the basis of which you will prioritize is vulnerability of different sections and their ability to help themselves. है ना? जो अलग-अलग जो sections है, how vulnerable they are and whether they are in a position to help themselves or not. That should be the main criterion to decide the priority. Who to save first, who to save later. So इसको पहले बताइएगा, who will you save first? Patients in hospital. Then
first tourist.
first tourist. सबसे पहले you will save tourists.
They are responsibility.
Okay.
Then patients in hospital,
Patients in hospital, senior citizens, women and children. Okay, then
hikers means also.
hikers are basically you hike the mountain. They are professionals, who go for trekking and all. Yeah.
They are the last.
Hikers are last. Okay.
Last second is ruling parties.
Ruling party, president. Prisoners कहाँ? Prisoners कब से करेंगे? Prisoners को करेंगे या छोड़ देंगे? You leave the prisoners? Where will you place the prisoners? And then ruling party president is there, regional party president, and then chief secretary of some other state is there. Additional chief secretary of the neighboring state. So, he is not your additional chief secretary, he is of neighboring state. See, the top three would be patients in hospitals, senior citizens, and women and children. Okay, because these three are the most vulnerable. They are in the least advantageous position to help themselves. Okay? Senior citizens, patients in hospitals, senior citizens, and women and children. And one additional advantage as far as patients in hospital is concerned is that their location and numbers are well known. Patients in hospitals, okay, the policy makers will know if these are the hospitals, these are the patients in the hospital. So it will make the rescue operation easier. So they can be rescued easily. So that is an additional reason why patients in hospital should be rescued first. So patients in hospital, senior citizens, women and children. After these three, then tourists. Okay, then tourists because they are not aware of the local conditions. They all have come from outside, they might not be in a position to help themselves. After tourists, additional chief secretary, why?
He is also not aware what other
Yeah, but he has been trained to deal with such situations. He is a seasoned bureaucrat.
prisoners in jails.
Prisoners in jail. After that, why prisoners in jail?
They are in a condition not to go.
Yes, first of all because they are not in a position to help themselves. They are in prison. Secondly, again their location and numbers are well known. It's specific, so you can go and rescue them in a limited time. Okay.
There can also be the negative things, sir. Since their thing is more, we can say we can get.
Yeah, but it depends. Under where the prisons are located, whether they are in imminent danger or not. Okay, if they are in imminent danger, then they can be saved. Hikers would be the last. Because hikers are in the best position to help themselves. They are physically fit. In fact, they should not just help themselves, they should also help others. They should be involved in rescue operation. They are trained mountaineers. अब बच गए ruling party president, regional party president and additional chief secretary. So you can put regional party president first because his family is also there. And the family will have women and children, etc. Okay. So you can put him first and then additional chief secretary after that, before hikers. Because the additional chief secretary, first of all, he is in a position to help himself. He will have his contacts. Plus, he is a civil servant. He is expected to put others' interests above him. And plus, he has been trained to deal with such situations. So that's why he should be given least priority. Is it clear? See, again, it's a very subjective question. For different people, the list might vary. But top 3 should be that only. After that, you can decide tourists or prisoners first, or regional party president or additional chief secretary first. That is up to you.
Different persons, different ideas regarding this. It will affect class living or
I don't know. I don't know what is the correct answer. UPSC does not come out with model answers.
it doesn't affect
We don't know. We don't know what is the correct answer. So we all have to use our. Yes, you have to justify. So all the reasons. See, the main condition that you are using here is vulnerability of different sections and their ability to help themselves. That is the primary criteria that you are using for prioritizing. Okay. Next please. Brilliant. Please. What is the case about? How will you introduce the case? What is the case about? Versus अभी नहीं करना है, versus बाद में. अभी एक generic introduction. This case highlights an incident of corporate misdemeanor and crisis of conscience of an employee of the organization. Yeah, corporate misdemeanor, malfeasance, wrongdoing, anything, right? So this case highlights an incident of corporate wrongdoing and crisis of conscience of the employee of the organization. And the employee is facing an ethical dilemma, a crisis of conscience as to what to do. Okay. A generic introduction, you can use this introduction in other cases also. Okay. What are the ethical values in conflict here? So from the vantage point of the engineering graduate, who is your friend? You are her friend now? Yes, you have to give her advice. So from the vantage point of your friend, that engineering graduate, what are the values in conflict?
Career development versus integrity. Personal
Integrity. Yes. Integrity and courage of conviction versus career development. Okay. Public health versus organizational benefit and family interest also. Because here it is written that she is the sole breadwinner for her family. So her family's interests are also involved.
The public interest can be seen.
Public interest, but यहाँ पर specifically health, public health is at stake. Okay, because what is written here? It is causing health problems to the villages downstream who depend on the river for their water needs. So public health or public interest, public safety versus organizational interest or family interest. Not misconduct, organizational interest, family interest. Okay. From the point of view of the organization, what are the values involved? Profits versus ethics. Okay. Profits versus ethics. Shareholders versus stakeholders. Whether to just focus on the shareholders or be concerned about larger stakeholders, environment, society, etc. Okay. Now, अब question क्या है? You have to advise to your friend why keeping quiet is not morally right. Basically, you have to give arguments. यहाँ पर you don't have to generate options. What is the question? As a friend, the first part of the question is that what arguments can you advance to show that keeping quiet is not morally right? So basically, you have to give arguments why keeping quiet is not right. Why keeping quiet is not right? All those decision premises. Again, everywhere that framework has to be used. Why something is like, why not to do a wrong thing or why to do the right thing? Only those factors are there. Are you understanding? See, please understand, the content is that only. The content is very limited. Do not try to think something new. There is nothing new. Jo hai yahi hai. Whatever is there, it is this only. Okay. So try to apply that instead of thinking new things. In the examination, you won't get the time to think new things. That is the entire purpose of this exercise. You should internalize these things. So, why keeping quiet is not the right option? All those things at the individual level. If tomorrow, because I don't act, I keep quiet, and if tomorrow people die because of my inaction, I will be guilt-ridden throughout my life. I won't be able to sleep peacefully. That is at a personal level. Then यहाँ पर public service values नहीं आएगा because it's a private organization, है ना? But in terms of law, it's a violation of the law also. If tomorrow the incident comes to light, and if it becomes known that I was aware that my organization was doing such and such thing and I did not act, then I can also be legally prosecuted for abatement of crime. Abatement means helping in the crime, knowing about the crime and not doing anything about it. Okay, so legally also it might backfire tomorrow, legally, professionally. Okay, so all those decision premises you will write. Why keeping quiet is not an option. Now, what course of action would you advise her? What she should do? Same, वही सारे steps. पहले collect evidence, then try to talk to her seniors, colleagues, etc. Then jump the hierarchy, go to seniors above your senior. After all the internal mechanisms have been exhausted, whistle. Clear? Next. Long-term solution, regulatory reforms. Why the company is being allowed to do such a thing? It is lack of regulation. We have SPCB is there, CPCB is there. It is their responsibility to monitor the functioning of different companies and ensure that they are not discharging poisonous waste in water bodies. It's basically regulatory lapse. The long-term solution is regulatory reforms. Again, governance reforms. Governance reforms, regulatory reforms. Pollution control boards need to be strengthened. Next. Okay? Ready case? What is the case about? Okay. The larger issue is here
Extra rational factors.
extra rational factors. What extra rational? See, basically this case essentially highlights the conflict between development versus displacement. It's a development versus displacement case. Development versus displacement, or development for whom and at what cost. What are the ethical values in conflict here?
Rules versus ethics.
Rules. What rules?
Means he has to follow his code.
Who has to follow? Which case are you reading? Case number 16, not 17. Land needed for mining. Right to liberty. No, not right to liberty. So you can write like rights of indigenous communities versus doctrine of eminent domain. You have heard of this term, doctrine of eminent domain? Doctrine of eminent domain. So what are the ethical values in conflict here? Rights of indigenous communities versus doctrine of eminent domain. Okay. Now doctrine of, see, have you read about the Land Acquisition Act? Land Acquisition Act के बारे में पढ़ा सुना? So the new Land Acquisition Act was passed few years back. Before that, what we had was an 1894 Act, the Land Acquisition Act that was passed in the year 1894, and that act was based on the doctrine of eminent domain. Okay, so basically, doctrine of eminent domain means that the state can forcibly acquire your land in larger public interest. State has eminent powers, special powers. Okay, so since 1894 till very recently, forcible land acquisition was used to be justified using the doctrine of eminent domain, and in the process, the rights of indigenous communities were violated. Okay. Recently, a new Land Acquisition Act has been passed in 2013 or 14. और क्या conflict है? What are the other values in conflict here? Socio-economic justice versus development. Whether to give more importance to development or to socio-economic justice. Compassion and empathy versus insensitivity or unfair distribution of costs and benefits. Compassion and empathy versus unfair distribution of costs and benefits, because it's written in the case that benefits of the development go to the industries, industrialist and urban communities, whereas the costs are passed on to the poor and helpless people. So the costs and benefits are not equitably distributed. Okay. So all these are ethical values in conflict here. Clear? Now, what is the question? Suppose you have been entrusted with the task of drafting a better compensation for rehabilitation policy. How would you do it? What are the main elements of the suggested policy? Okay. So basically, you have to draft a policy, compensation from rehabilitation policy. You have to do that. Now, before going to the policy, briefly analyze the context. Briefly highlight the context. Since independence, how much of displacement has taken place because of land acquisition? You have to give some facts. Since independence, so many people have been displaced because of forcible land acquisition. Out of these many people, so much percentage of people have not been given due compensation. Out of these people, so much percentage of people belong to SC and ST. Are you understanding? So basically, you have to highlight what is the problem. You have to highlight that historical injustices have been committed against certain communities. Okay, and that's why we need a new policy now. Is it clear? After doing this, then you have to basically outline the elements of the new policy. Okay? What should be the elements of the new policy? By devising a compensation and rehabilitation policy. Okay. The first thing is to define public purpose. And the policy should clearly and explicitly define public purpose. Because earlier the main issue with the earlier Land Acquisition Act was that public purpose was not clearly defined. See, land can be acquired for public purpose. Now, how do you define public purpose? Whether if you acquire land on behalf of some private sector and then give the land to them, then is it public purpose or not? So these things have to be clearly specified. Okay? Once public purpose has been clearly defined, okay, and land has to be acquired, then the priority should be given to waste uncultivable land. Acquisition of waste uncultivable land. Okay. Because the problem arises in case of agricultural land. When you start acquiring agricultural land, then protests happen. You don't need to write, it's there in my notes. Okay, so you will find these things in my notes. Just try to understand. Okay. So first thing is defining public purpose. Second thing is priority should be given to waste and cultural land. Third, if it becomes clear that it is not possible to acquire waste or unculturable land, I want land in a particular area where waste land is not available, then agricultural land should be acquired. Okay, as the last option. Okay, now if you are acquiring agricultural land, what are the principles that you should follow? Okay, first is consent. Consent of the local population. So, for example, as per the new act, 80% of the PAFs, project affected families, have to give consent in cases of land acquisition. Okay. So, 80% of the families have to give consent for the government to acquire land. First is consent. After receiving consent, in fact, here we can give that example. Recently, Niyamgiri Hills, you have heard? Niyamgiri Hills, Odisha. So there Dongriya owned tribes, they live there. And recently there was a case wherein Vedanta wanted to do aluminium or bauxite mining in Niyamgiri Hills. And it had got all the government approvals, etc. However, the Dongriya owned tribes were not willing to part with their land. They went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court gave a verdict in favor of Dongriya tribes. Okay, so you can give the example of that Supreme Court judgment to highlight the importance of consent. Without the consent of the local population, land should not be acquired. Okay. And after getting consent, the next thing is EIA and SIA, environmental impact assessment and social impact assessment. Okay. What will be the impact on environment in terms of impact on forest, biodiversity, air pollution, water pollution, etc. and what will be the social impact. Both these things should be carried out. Okay? Then, as much as possible, priority should be given to land for land. That if you are acquiring land, then you should give the people land in return in some nearby area. And a land for land. However, this might not be possible in all circumstances. And the land might not be available in nearby areas. So, in such situation, what should be done? First, the compensation needs to be adequate. So, as per the new Land Acquisition Act, the compensation is 2 to 4 times the market price. Okay, whatever the market price of land is there, the compensation should be 2 to 4 times. However, compensation is not enough because whatever money you will give, it will be used in some time, 1 year, 2 years, it will be over. So, what needs to be done? Skill development is fine. Employment. At least one member of each project affected family should be given employment in the industry that is being developed in that area. Okay. So, that would be a permanent source of income for them. Okay. Also, the local community needs to be partners in the development process. See, right now, why do protests take place? Protests take place because the local community feels that they are being exploited and they are being taken for a ride. Okay. So they need to be partners in the development process. How can they be made partners in the development process? For example, we can use tribal cooperatives for mining. Are you understanding? One of the reasons for discontentment among the tribal population is that all these multinational corporations come, they do mining, they exploit the local resources, they exploit them and then they come. So, in order to sort of take care of these concerns, in order to make the local people partners in the development process, what can be done is, there are tribal cooperatives. Those cooperatives should only be trained how to do mining and they should only be involved in the mining process. So whatever profits will come, they will get. So these are the few of the techniques or few of the steps that can be taken to make them partners in the development process. Okay. And finally, when we talk of rehabilitation, it should not just be economic rehabilitation, not just economic compensation, but comprehensive, holistic rehabilitation. Comprehensive, holistic rehabilitation means socio-cultural rehabilitation, psychological counseling. Because when people get displaced, it's not a question of just land, their entire life gets uprooted. So socio-cultural rehabilitation, setting up of educational institutions, health centers, parks, recreational centers, etc. Skill development, their skill development. Okay, so comprehensive socio-cultural rehabilitation needs to take place, not just economic compensation. Similarly, psychological counseling. People also get psychologically traumatized. All these things should be part of the new policy. Is it clear? Next please. Close that door. What is the ethical dilemma here? Basically, whether to be a rule-driven Bavarian bureaucrat or to make extra efforts to serve the underprivileged sections of the society. This is the ethical dilemma here. Whether to be a rule-driven Bavarian bureaucrat or to make extra efforts to serve the marginalized sections of the society. And that is the question that we have before you. That is the dilemma that we have before you. Okay? What are the ethical values in conflict here? It's a very simple case. It's a relatively straightforward case. So basically, ethical values here is adherence to rules versus citizen centricity. Whether to follow rules or whether to be responsive to the needs of citizens. Okay? Value neutrality versus compassion. Whether to remain value neutral, like Bavarian bureaucracy prescribes to be value neutral, or show compassion and empathy. Okay. Rules and regulations versus outcomes. Whether to follow rules and regulations or to serve the people. The final outcome or the final objective is to serve the people. Rules and regulations are means to achieve that end. So again, it is basically means versus end. Rules and regulations which are the means versus end which is public welfare, serving public interests. What will you do? What is the question? How will you resolve this dilemma? It's a very simple, it's not a complicated dilemma, it's a very simple case. What will you do? See, basically, first of all, in the case, it becomes clear that that woman is a deserving person. She is actually a destitute. Okay. So once it has been established that she is a needy person and she needs your help, okay, and she is not somebody who is sort of faking it, okay, then your objective should be to help her in whatever way you can. Okay. So what you can do, you can assign somebody from your office who would help her in retrieving her documents. Okay. In the worst case, say if the documents are not retrieved and you have to violate some rules in order to help her, then you record your reasons in writing. See, always in government, if you don't do anything wrong and if you record whatever you are doing, the reasons for whatever you are doing in writing, nobody can do anything. Is it clear? Problem will arise if today you violate the rule to help her and tomorrow somebody will say that you did a favor to her or you took bribe to do a favor to her. Okay. If you record the reasons in writing, if you make notings in the file at that point in time, okay, I am doing this thing because she is a needy person, you can attach the relevant evidence to show that she is a needy person, and these rules are required to be sort of tinkered or slightly modified to suit this situation. Tomorrow if somebody raises a question on you, you can say that I had recorded my reasons in writing. Is it clear? So the first step should be helping her in trying to retrieve the documents. If those documents are not being retrieved, again, at the end of the day, you are there to serve the people, and she is a needy person. Okay. So if some rules need to be violated, it's okay. Just record your reasons in writing so that you can protect yourself in the future. Is it clear? It's a simple case. Nothing to complicate here. Is it clear, or do you have some doubt or confusion?
Break the rules. Justification. Because you told zero tolerance.
I told zero tolerance towards corruption. I didn't say zero tolerance towards breaking the rules. I have told you in government, if you start following 100% rules, I am not encouraging you to break rules. I am saying that you have to understand the spirit of the rule. Do not interpret the rules literally. Why the rule is there? That is the difference between a typical, this is what happens in the government. People do not want to take decision. They become slaves to rules. See, rules are there for a purpose. They are there to achieve an objective. If that objective is not being achieved, what purpose that rule is serving? The objective is public welfare. You are there to serve the people. You are a civil servant, public servant. If some needy person is coming and you are hiding behind rules, no, I cannot do this because the rule book says this. What is the use of you sitting there? Please try to understand that. See, most of the people would follow rules only. They would say that, sorry, I cannot do anything. But that is not what a civil servant is expected to do. You are not there to follow rules. You are there to help people. Rules are basically a means, an aid. So don't be a slave to rules. Okay. Now don't break rules. Always see it has to be very situation specific. Nothing is sacrosanct. Nothing is absolute. Fundamental rights are also not absolute. There are exceptions and all this. There is an exception to everything. In life, nothing is absolute. Things are not black and white. Ye sahi hai, ye galat hai. It's not like that. There are grey areas. There is an entire spectrum of colors, not just grey. You have seen a spectrum. How many shades of colors are there? In every issue, there is an entire spectrum of colors. ऐसा नहीं होता है. This is right, this is wrong. It's not like that. Things are not that simple. Yeah, see, that is my personal opinion. You might or might not agree. So, you all are adults, and it's not a school. So, I am telling you what I believe. You can have your own views and opinion. I cannot force my views on you. You think what is the right thing to do, and then you can do it. यहाँ पर long term solutions. यहाँ पर she has lost some document. What you can do.
So we can also refer to some NGOs, or else we can personally refer.
See, that would not be a long term solution for her. Some NGO might help her in the short term. Tomorrow, what will happen? The long term solution for her is when she gets pension on a regular basis.
So we can increase the efficiency of the machinery to decrease such situations in future.
But here, the government has not done anything. She has lost. She does not have a documents. So, I mean, it's not the government's fault. She does not have the documents. So we cannot do anything. think we'll stop here. There are 4 cases left here and 1 case that we left for here. 5 cases are there. We will discuss them tomorrow. So you have basically got a hang of how to tackle case studies. Remaining cases will be similar only. Okay. The approach has to be similar. Okay. Remaining cases we will discuss tomorrow. Okay. So this is broadly the approach. Again, try to master these 22 case studies. Do not try to practice other case studies from different test series. It is not going to survive purpose. First, try to analyze these cases and what approach I have told you. Okay. Try to basically master the art of application instead of reading new things. Most of the cases would be like this only UPSC, with the exception of 1 or 2 cases. So out of 6 cases I told you, around 4 cases you can use this approach. For those 1 or 2 cases you will have to use your own brain. Nobody can teach you. Nobody can prepare you for everything in UPSC. So वहाँ पर you will have to use your own judgment, your own brain. But by and large, this is a framework that you can use in case studies. Is it clear? So no need to practice hundreds of cases. Just again practice these cases only 3-4 times. And try to think, you can think of new dimensions also. I might have missed few things. Okay? You think in terms what additional things can be added in this. Okay? So today I told you that you have a test at 4 p.m. Those of you who want to give the test, give. Tomorrow we will have the discussion on today's test and also the last test that I have conducted. That's it. That 10 questions that I have given. Okay? We'll discuss both the tests tomorrow. You will watch the cases and we'll discuss tomorrow. And any other questions or doubts, tomorrow will be the last class. Any other questions or doubts that you have regarding ethics, you can ask. Tomorrow's class timings would be 1:30. Class means discussion and reading things. So 1:30 to 4:30. Okay? I'll give the material here to them. They will take a printout and then you can ask them. I think it will take few days to get the printout because a lot of